Hi there, how is everyone? I
Good.
am
How are you?
good. I'm Professor Heller Garland. Welcome to the Wintermester course for Rehab 3000 micro counseling. I'm excited to see how many of you are here today. I believe there are more of you here today than in my fall session, and I had 300 students in the fall session. So that's exciting. I always look forward to working with you guys during the wintermester because only the really serious students typically take courses in the winter. I'm going to share my screen with you and what I hope to be sharing with you. And if someone could just give me a confirmation that that is in fact what I'm sharing is the course screen is what you should be able to see.
Yep, it's showing.
Thank you so much. So I'm just going to go through here and tell you a little bit about the course. It's not, groundbreakingly different than most courses are set up on Canvas. Canvas reads like a book. Each module is a chapter. And then when you click the chapter open, each topic here is like a page in a chapter. And so the way that I read the course, the way I wrote the course is you open the chapter and you just start on the first page and then just push through them. And each one should tell you what you need to know about that module. And the way that I have my module set up is that all the information you need to know that we're covering during that module is within the pages. So is all of the information you need to complete whatever assignment happens in that module. So when you open module 1, you can see that there are 2 assignments due in module 1. The first one on the 19th, which is the discussion board, pretty typical introductory discussion board for most courses, and then the syllabus quiz. When you click on the syllabus quiz, you're going to see that the syllabus quiz is accessed in the course textbook. And I'll talk about the textbook here in just one moment. It is 3 questions. It's true, false, and it is a completion or non-completion. An attempt gives you credit, and it's probably something you would not have trouble passing anyway. It asks questions that I outline in the syllabus, like, do I accept late work? Some other things like that, but you'd be able to find the answers in the course syllabus, which is over here on the side. And then in module 2, we are going to just start talking about personal work. This course is about communication, and it is about the communication skills necessary for people who are becoming counselors. So it's real important. Anybody can take the course, but it's still geared to be taught that way for the basic communication skills for the helping profession. And people that are going into the helping profession, it is so important for us to know who we are in order to effectively communicate with other people. So it's important for us to look at our history, who we are, what we believe, why we believe that way. Is it effective to us? Do we have any beliefs that cause us to ineffectively communicate? Do we have any bias or anything that kind of stand in our way of being able to hear people for what they're saying rather than for what we hear them saying? So the workbook portion, which is section 2 of the course textbook, speaks to that. It takes you through a series of interpersonal activities to gain insight on who you are, how you became who you are, and then set some goals for who you want to be in the future, even if that is who you are today, just to solidify those. The amount of work that you do in that workbook and the depth in which you go in that workbook's completely up to you. Some people really get into it. Some people, it's not their thing, so they just answer, matter of factly, and they move on. That's completely fine. Some people who've been in counseling before may have seen some of these questions before, and this isn't new. Some of you who haven't or haven't been in like a treatment program or a counseling program or something. You may have never seen these questions before, and you may wonder why you're being asked them. So before every activity, there's a little explanation as to the importance of those activities. So in module 2, the assignment is the first 10 activities in the workbook, which is found in the textbook. So nothing to turn in here. You do the activities in the workbook, and it doesn't transfer the work you do in your textbook over into Canvas. I have to actually go view it and then bring over your score. So don't panic if on the gradebook in Canvas, you don't automatically see your scores calculating for the workbook. You should be able, though, to see in your textbook in the gradebook area that you have credit there for work, and whichever email address you use to register your textbook, you'll get a confirmation email for every activity that you do in that workbook portion of the textbook. And then we'll talk about the basic communication skills, some counseling skills, and you'll continue to do the workbook. So sometimes people want to know, do we use the textbook during this course? Yes, you use it from beginning to end. You will also do a PowerPoint presentation in this course, and you will also do a interview. And more workbook. One of the assignments in this course is like a professional development assignment. And because this is the winter course, instead of a long semester, I've created it to be extra credit. I typically don't give extra credit in this class, and this is the only assignment that I'll give an option for extra credit. So if you'd like to do it, feel free to do it. And then there is a wrap up, which is a course reflection. It is a formal paper. It's 2 pages, and it asks you to answer some very specific questions. But I want to go here to the course schedule for a moment to talk through each of the assignments you'll turn in. All the due dates are already here. There should be no surprises. Every assignment is already up, open. You have access to it. If you wanted to, you could start working today and just take off and start working them. Completely up to you. We talked about the introduction discussion, and the syllabus quiz. We've talked about the workbook activities, but I want to show you before we leave today how to get into your textbook, how to register it. And then you will develop, I'm sorry, my boss is texting me. I'm going to tell her what I'm doing right now. Okay. The interview. You're going to interview someone during this course. Who you interview is not as important as what you ask in the interview. You develop at least 5 open-ended questions, and there are a few other rules like don't ask why and some other things you're going to learn about whenever we talk about communication skills. You're going to create those questions in module 1, and you'll actually turn in the interview in module 5. So you have a lot of time to plan for it and get it taken care of. You'll also turn in those questions early enough to get some feedback from one another and from me on your questions to ensure that you're asking the questions that you need to ask. The resources, I think maybe if I go to the actual assignments, that might help you a little bit more. The resources presentation is a PowerPoint, and I have an example of a PowerPoint that I share with you. I also walk you through it in a video here. You are going to just come up with a fictitious person, a college age student or a college student, doesn't matter what their age is. You'll describe them to me, and you'll tell me what problem this person is facing, just a problem that a typical college student faces. And I even provide you a list of an article that says what typically college students' problems that they face, and you'll create a plan for them You'll offer them a resource on campus and you'll offer them a resource in the town where you live. So let's say a person, a problem is they have, they're starting to binge drink and they want to not have an addiction problem. They don't want it to lead to addiction. They don't want it to interfere with their grades or attendance in class anymore. So on campus, you refer them to the Sure Center. And then off campus, if you live in Dallas, you refer them to the Greater Dallas Council. And those are just things I know because of my 30 years of experience in the addiction profession. You'll have to actually just look them up and you'll tell me about those. You'll be including 2 images at least in your PowerPoint presentation, and with your images, you'll include alt text. I work in the rehabilitation department, so we work with educating people a lot on people with disabilities. So it's important with if a person has a visual impairment, they're not able to see a PowerPoint presentation. So when you have an image in a presentation, they can't see the image. Alt text describes the image to their screen reader so it can read it aloud to them. You'll have a lot of resources on what alt text is, how you enter it, what you say when you enter it. All the information will be there for you. I just think it's an important skill for everyone to learn. And the aesthetics that you're graded on is not, is it real pretty? It's if you are making this presentation in the front of a group of people, could everyone see it well? So if you sat in the back of the room, is your font large enough? Is it readable? Are the color selections crisp enough to differentiate, the background from the text? And I would say if you use any of the templates that are already put together for you with PowerPoint, you'll do fine because those are all already put together to give you what you need. And I don't know if you know this, but everyone at UNT has access for free to Office 365, which gives you Outlook, PowerPoint, Word documents, all of that package for free. You just click on the Office 365 button in this course and probably all of your courses. And then let's see if there's anything else I should talk through. I guess your course reflection, perhaps that's important. Like I said, it is a formal paper, 2 full pages, and you just address these 5 questions. It's about what you've learned during the course and how you're going to put those into use in your professional or personal life. And just, I can tell you about my assignments. If you just read each requirement and ensure before you turn your submission in that you've done everything that my criteria have asked, you'll do great in this course. So once you write your paper, put together your assignment, just take it and compare it to this. Okay, do I have a cover page? Did I make sure that I only put my name in the heading? I didn't include it in the body of the document. Did I address all of these questions? Did I use a Word document? Is it 2 full pages? Did I use Times New Roman font? Is it double spaced? You do all that and you're going to do great. And if you have any questions about writing, contact the UNT Writing Center. You get that for free by coming to UNT. So make use of those things. It's a junior level course. So most of you are at or should be at a level to be able to write a formal paper of 2 pages without a great deal of trouble. And if you do have any questions, just let the Writing Center know. I'm even happy to answer your questions if you'd like. But especially of those of you who'd like to go to graduate school, you want to make sure that those writing skills are real crisp. Let me stop there rather than go on and see if you have questions I might be able to answer, because I'm trying to cover everything, but I'm afraid I'm not gonna, I won't be able to do that just from memory. So with only a few of us in here, if you want, you can just unmute and ask, or if you don't want to talk, you can just send a question in chat and I can answer that question.
I have a question.
Okay.
So all of our assignments, they're just gonna be like at our own pace, own time, as long as we follow the deadlines. We'll get to the modules. Is that like on our own pace,
No,
or is it like a certain module per week?
it is, if you go to the course schedule in module 1, you'll
Right.
see the due dates.
Mhm.
So what
But
I
like,
was saying, go
oh,
ahead.
sorry.
That's okay.
No, you go ahead. I interrupted. I'm sorry.
I was saying that if you want to work ahead, you're welcome to. You don't have to wait until the day of an assignment to turn it in, but it has to be turned in by the due date. Does that make
Yeah.
sense?
Yes.
Okay. I have heard there are some courses where they say just turn everything in by the end of the semester, and you know, pare it out how you'd like, but that I wanted to make sure that that's not what you were asking.
All right. Thank you.
Once you submit a paper, if you need to make an edit to it, can you do that as long as it hasn't been graded already? Or once
That is absolutely correct. I'm glad you added that caveat. Once it's graded, it has been, that's all that there is to do. But if you notice something before it's been graded, feel free. You can just, because you can, all of my assignments are like, you can drop as many submissions as you want, and it will show me all the submissions you've dropped, and I grade the most recent, unless you for some reason have told me to do something different in the comment box.
Thank you.
And I don't grade, like sometimes I grade ahead, but for instance, with like the discussion board, you write your discussion and then you respond to someone. I won't grade a discussion until you've done all of that, because, you know, I mean, it's not the due date yet, so there's no reason to grade it ahead. But if you drop a paper ahead of time, I might grade that ahead of time. So if there's a reason you would like for me to wait until after the due date for some reason, just let me know that for sure.
Thank you.
And I'd say most people tell me the course is simple. I don't call it easy because that doesn't sound, but that's not congruent with what it is. I don't think introspection is easy. I think it's simple. It's pretty understandable, but not everyone enjoys going in and like answering questions about their history and things like that. And some people don't know some of the answers. And so, like I said, at the depth you care to. And can I answer any questions about the textbook for anyone?
For the textbook, is it the one that you have posted in the syllabus?
It is. It's in the syllabus, and it's also in module 1 under textbook. It's about the 3rd page. It takes you to the publisher's website to purchase, and they tell me they have the least expensive version of the textbook. I don't know because I don't go look for it, but they say if you buy it at a bookstore or somewhere else, it might be more expensive because they can't control that. Once you buy it, I think what you're buying is an access code. And so you then take that and use the directions I give you in that same page in the introduction module, and register it. And make sure when you register it, you register your textbook in winter 2024, RHAB 3000, instructor Heller Garland. You don't have to memorize that. It's written there in on Canvas for you, because there are more than one option. It has some past courses. I think it even has a future course. So just make sure you do register it in the winter, because I can't see it, and you'll be doing all that work wondering why you're getting zeros. It's because I can't see the work unless it's in this module. And just to be transparent with everyone, I did write the textbook, but I don't get paid when you buy a textbook. UNT won't allow that. So I don't want anyone thinking I'm forcing you to buy a textbook just so you make me a whole bunch of money.
For anyone who hasn't purchased the book, I purchased it through Wortman's, and it was like $123. So if the publisher can offer it for less than that, then go for it.
I think it's like 80 something from the publisher. I hate to hear that.
Well, I just wanted to be sure I had it, so I didn't know that was an option to purchase before,
Yeah.
so.
I'm so sorry to hear that. I know bookstores have to make money somehow. I just, wow, I didn't know it was that expensive.
And they were
Um,
less expensive than the one on campus, so.
Really? Okay. That is really good to know because I've specifically asked the publisher not to go over $90 because I already think that's way too much. I asked them to do it for 60. They laughed at me. But I just, textbooks are so horribly expensive to begin with. And if you're taking more than one course, it gets to be a lot.
Yeah.
And I am available. I don't go to campus during the winter break, but I am available to you who are taking this course. So if you have any questions, feel free to reach out. I would say I respond in the same time period, whether you do it through Canvas or do it through email. If you do it through email, make sure that you use your UNT email address, because if not, sometimes it goes to my junk mail and I don't see it. So it's best to either use Canvas or your UNT email to send an email to me. And otherwise, I mean, I know it's a fast-paced course, but to be honest, we have 4 weeks to do a 3-week course because we're all off next week. You know, Friday is the last assignment that's due for this week, and we don't have another one until we come back on January 2nd. So I don't know if you're traveling. I don't know what your world is like, but if you want to just knock some stuff out next week, you just feel free to keep working. And I will be out of town for several days during the actual holiday. I'll be leaving on Saturday and not back till Monday, but I'll still check my email and I'll try to get back with everyone like 24 to 48 hours. And then any other questions that I might be able to answer? Would you like for me to go to the publisher's website to show you about how to access the workbook?
For the textbook,
Uh-huh.
when you go through the link on Canvas, I like see the option to purchase it. Are we required to like make a sign in, or is that purchase gonna like give us like a link that we can access when we need the book?
Show you here. You will kind of both. You go whenever you go to the first link, that is to purchase the book. You'll get you'll get an access code, and then back here you can look at this document that says review the instructions on how to access the book. And so it tells you where to go to register it. So you go to this email address to register your book. You'll have to create, you know, a login, and this is where you put your access code. And then you sign in to the workbook, and you then choose which section that you want of the workbook. And you'll choose Winter 2024. And then it will take you in to the actual book. The first page it will take you to will give you your syllabus quiz. And then if you push sections, you'll see the different sections. Sections 1 and 3 are part of the textbook. And then section 2 is all the workbook. So in the workbook, you will just go through here and read about it. And then you'll start answering the questions just by typing right into this box. Just make sure each time you come to a place that it says save, you save it. Because if you don't, it doesn't submit it. So just make sure you save and submit it each time. Does that
Okay.
answer your question?
Yeah, and
Okay.
then I don't know if this like you would know, but I'm pretty sure I used this like textbook website before for another class.
Mhm.
Do you know if like I would have to make a new login, or could I keep the login if
You
I already
probably
made one?
don't have to do a new login for the publisher, but you probably have to do a new registration for that textbook.
That's
Oh,
correct. That's what happened with me. I had used the same email account and everything that I had before. I just had to use the new registration with a new book.
Oh, okay.
Perfect.
Sounds
Thank
good.
you for knowing that. That's a great, yeah, that's a good question. Fantastic. Well, I look forward to working with you guys. And again, feel free to reach out to me. I'm here, I'm available, and I can do whatever I can to help you with answering questions. The biggest deal in here is, since there's you get deductions for late work, it's best to not turn things in late. Don't wait till the last minute, especially the interview. You can't interview someone, document it, at least not ideally within an hour, if you're somebody who waits till 11 p.m. to do your assignment, that's when you're going to struggle with.
Yeah, I was gonna ask, what exactly is the objective for the interview?
It is to ensure that you ask open-ended questions and you demonstrate some of the communication skills that we talk about during the course.
Okay.
Yeah, so you can interview anybody. Some people interview family members. Some people interview someone who works in the profession they want to go into. Some people interview their best friends. Some of the really neat interviews I get to read are like interviewing parents or grandparents. Those are always neat because it's putting you in a different position, asking them questions kind of different than the normal way you interact. The only thing I caution is, if you want to interview a romantic partner, don't do so and ask them questions that are going to cause disagreements. Like, I've had someone actually say, ask the boyfriend a question like, why haven't you proposed yet? Or what's it going to take for me to get a ring? It's like, don't use this interview to create drama in you can, but I wouldn't, So that's just, you can interview anyone. It can be about anything. You just want to make sure that the interview flows. You don't ask you don't ask 5 different questions. You want them to kind of follow one another in subject matter or building to a particular subject.
Hey, can I get a clarification?
Mhm.
So you're saying to interview anyone there, but earlier you mentioned something about the problems we're going to address are only going to be for college age kids. So
That's the resource.
That's resource stuff.
That's
okay.
the resource PowerPoint. Those don't have to do with one another.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. I'm glad you asked that, because I know I said a lot in this 25-30 minutes. Okay. All right. Well, I hope you guys have a great winter break. I hope that you enjoy the course, and please reach out to me if you need anything at all during our time together.
Thank you for offering this.
No problem. Have a great week.
All right, thank you.
Bye-bye.